Well, hello. I'm Darcy Paape, and we're here at Concordia University, Wisconsin, and I'm so excited to be with you this morning. I get to talk with you about a topic that I'm passionate about, and that's how vocation kind of plays into leadership, kind of as a backdrop of why we do what we do. In my position as director, I have the opportunity to work with women from all walks of life. So women in the home that also have foster kids that they work with and they influence. I work with women in professions who are lawyers and doctors and nurses. I get to hang out with those that are students on campus, and just lots of different ways that we all kind of influence those around us. And the Institute, our mission is to educate, encourage, and equip women for exemplary Christian leadership. And so we do that in a lot of different ways, through our conferences and workshops, through online articles and our Speakers Bureau. We even have some courses in the online academy if you check out the OCDE page or if you look at our WLI website. So there's lots of ways that we work with fostering leadership among women. But today I want to talk to you specifically about vocation. So it comes from the word calling, the Latin word, the Latin kind of origin of the word, and it's the idea that not only did God create us, but He designed us for purpose. That purpose can give meaning to the mundane and menial tasks of life. And I think this is important because in a world where it's all about finding the right job and the right fit and making sure that you're exactly where you're supposed to be, it can be exhausting when you're not where it's a good fit, or where it's a hard place, or maybe where you're struggling with whether it be other people in your job or other people in your home or your work life, whatever it might be. And so vocation gives meaning even when we're not on the mountaintop. It can also help foster courage, kind of the idea that God places us in certain callings in our life for a reason, and it's about serving those around us. It's not always about what's in our best interest. Sometimes it's about what He's doing through us and working through us. It's because of the farmer that we eat. It's because of the banker that we have protection for our money. It's because of the auto mechanic that we have a car that allows us to commute to work. God provides through the people around us in a variety of vocations. So whatever you're doing right now, it has meaning because it's serving those around. It's giving to those that are around you in lots of powerful ways. So another way that you can look at this is vocations are not just in the workplace. They're also in the home. So we have vocations as mom and dad. We have vocations as son and daughter and as friend. And that's other ways that God kind of works through us. We have a vocation to our country and to our state government, our city government, to be a good citizen, to help those around us, to make sure that we're advocating for those who are in need. We also have vocations within the church to preach, teach, to serve, to support others that are preaching and teaching and serving. So what does this have to do with leadership, which I'm sure you're wondering? John Maxwell defines leadership as influence. And I think this is a neat way to look at influence or as leadership. It's not just about titles or positions, he says, or even flow charts. It's about one life influencing another. So in that case, we're all leaders, we're all influencers in the world around us. And God loves through us. It's not the work we do for God. That's not what it's about. It's not about earning any sort of badge or award or any position. He paid all of our sins for us. So there's no work that we need to do. That's been paid. We're free in our relationship with Christ. But it's our work that we do for others that makes our world a better place, and it allows God's love to kind of go out into the world. And thank goodness that we have Christians in all kinds of professions, in all kinds of workplaces, because it allows us to be salt and light to those that need His salt and light. An example of this in my own life is my father. My father has worked with his hands his whole life. So he's worked as a factory worker, he's worked as a janitor, he's worked as a facility technician. So he's worked as an auto mechanic as well. He's not your typical leader. I mean, he's not someone that you would ever probably even give the title leader to. And yet, I can tell you that people notice the way he works is different. In fact, he's had people in the factory come up and ask him, what is it that kind of makes him different? What makes him have this kind of joyful demeanor, have a smile, be on time, and be faithful in his work, show up every day and work his hardest? And it's easy. He understands his vocation. Colossians 3:23 says, whatever you do, work at it with all your heart, as if serving the Lord, not other people. And I think that's really important. If we do that, people notice. And I'm sure we've all had that person in our life who's just been that kind person, that cashier, that banker, that janitor in the hallway that smiled and helped our day be a little better. It's made a difference. It's influenced those around you. So what does this mean for leaders, especially because that's what we're talking about? We're talking about leadership. Well, again, it gives a backdrop for why we do what we do. It's not just about the goals or the tasks or even the strategic plan. It's about that underlying, why are we doing this? Are we serving our neighbors? Are we making the world around us a little better place? And I just want to leave you with 5 points to kind of think about as leaders as you kind of interact with the world around you. First of all, pay attention. Pay attention to your surroundings, because there may be people around you that are being impacted by the decisions that you're making, for good or for worse. And in paying attention and listening, are there ways that you can maybe change course or tweak what you're doing in order to bless those in your workplace while still accomplishing your goals? So pay attention. And I think that also goes for those that may not be in a leadership position. It's easy to grumble and complain when we don't have the ability to control our work situations or our home situations. But again, in what way can you influence? In what way can you impact the situation for better? How can you be a positive influence? Second, stay the course. I think it's easy to jump ship when things get hard. And I think often God is at work in our situations, whether it's growing us or developing us or maybe humbling us. And so many times being consistent, sticking with it for a few years and seeing what God is up to is much better than just looking for the next opportunity and the next good fit. So stay the course, pay attention, make sure that God isn't up to something before you just move to the next thing. Step out in courage is number 3. And I think this is an important one, especially for women, because often we lack confidence in our abilities. We dismiss the work that we have, that the abilities that we have, the ability to do what we've been given to do. And so I want you to think of confidence not so much about knowing you have the ability, but instead being willing to step in and figure it out. To be confident that, you know what, I don't know what I'm doing, but I can step in here and I can figure it out, and I can find people that can equip me and help me to figure it out, and I'm going to take this risk. I'm going to try. I'm going to step out because maybe God is calling me to use my gifts in this position. And you know what? It's okay that you don't look like the leader before you or the leader next to you. In fact, it's better if you don't, because God made you, not them. 4, admit weaknesses. And I think this is really difficult for leaders, especially, but all of us. God already knows you're not perfect, so it's okay to let other people know you're not as well. And I think this is especially important because as we admit our weaknesses, we can also begin to admit that maybe we need a little bit more training. Maybe we need that course. Maybe we need a mentor in a particular area. Maybe there's someone that can kind of help us and teach us, even if it's someone underneath us who probably already knows that's an area of weakness and can support you in it. Don't stagnate. Don't just get to a position and a place and then coast. There's always a way that you can grow, and there's always something that you can develop. Allow others to come alongside of you in leadership. They can fill the gaps with their own strengths, and let them serve you just as you serve them. It's okay to humble yourself a little bit and allow others to kind of come alongside and also make your workplace or your home or whatever it is, whatever situation, a little better. And yes, finally, number 5, yes, it matters. Whatever it is that you're doing, it matters. So give it your best, even if no one notices, even if no one's watching. Give it your best. Work at it with all your heart as if serving the Lord. not other people, because chances are someone is watching. So these are the points that I wanted to share with you today, and the kind of backdrop of vocation and how our work and our life is really a calling and places where God is using us to love others. I also just want to take a few minutes to tell you about Women's Leadership Institute, so the organization that I work with on campus, and especially our upcoming opportunities for you to connect with other Christian leaders. So next September 29th, 2017, at the Hyatt in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, we're going to have a one-day conference called Pressure Points, and it's going to be for men and women, and it's going to deal with Christians, especially in the workplace, but in any vocation, that want to talk about when our faith walk kind of comes up against our workplace. So where do our values sometimes are challenged by the places that we work? And so we're going to be in conversation about with one another, networking and kind of meeting with other Christian leaders and people in different professions to kind of have those conversations. You'll hear 4 speakers talk on the topic, but there's going to be table talk and time to interact in a broad way with a lot of people. And this is for students also. We really want students, as you're kind of figuring out your vocations, to come and explore and hear from others. So it's going to be a great event. And that's going to lead into our national conference, Gifted to Influence. And that's for women. We are the Women's Leadership Institute. And so it'll be a weekend of workshops to help develop faith and leadership skills. So, and we're really going to look at practical skills for leaders, no matter what vocation you serve in. And we're also going to look at faith development, so Bible study and opportunity to praise and worship together. So, so come, and that's going to be the whole weekend. So September 29th through October 1st, 2017. There will be more on our website and Facebook pages, more on Concordia's Facebook page and website as well. So join us. Thank you so much for your time. Blessings on your day, and my prayers go with you.